This is the Washington Times front page for Monday, September 20th, 2021. Thanks for starting your week with us. I'm George Gerbo. At the White House, President Biden is facing a pileup of multiple crises, both foreign and domestic. Dave Boyer and S.A. Miller report the Pentagon admitted that a drone strike in Afghanistan accidentally killed 10 civilians instead of ISIS militants as the administration initially had claimed. France announced an unprecedented withdrawal of its ambassador Philippe Etienne to the United States after Biden signed an agreement to build nuclear-powered submarines for Australia, which undercut France's $100 billion submarine deal with the Aussies. And at the southern border, an out-of-control migrant crisis is growing with a migrant camp of about 10,000 mostly Haitians being established underneath a bridge in Del Rio, Texas. On that, Stephen Dinan reports the Department of Homeland Security has vowed more deportation flights and the use of expedited removal to try and remove as many of the migrants from the camp they erected on the banks of the river. On that, Stephen Dinan reports the Department of Homeland Security has vowed more deportation flights and the use of expedited removal to try and remove as many of the migrants from the camp they erected on the banks of the Rio Grande as possible. With the stream of new migrants cut off, authorities whittled down the numbers from a peak of about 16,000 people late last week to fewer than 13,000 by Sunday afternoon. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said that he has deployed the National Guard and state troopers to seal off the shore of the Rio Grande. The Department of Homeland Security said it's trying to send a message that the border isn't open and that people shouldn't make the attempt. In politics, Democrats face strong headwinds as they prepare for next year's midterm elections, but they believe they have some cards to play, including mounting frustration against those who resist the COVID-19 vaccine. Seth MacLachlan reports analysts say anger at vaccine resistors helped propel California Governor Gavin Newsom to a surprisingly decisive victory in his recall election last week. In Virginia, gubernatorial candidate Terry McAuliffe is trying to harness the same energy as early voting begins there. McAuliffe has signaled confidence he's on the right side of the issue and pounced on the chance to make that clear during his most recent debate with Republican nominee Glenn Youngkin. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. Don't have access to the Times yet? Visit WashingtonTimes.com/George to get 25% off your annual subscription. For defense contractors, the post-9/11 era sparked a significant cash windfall as the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq drug on. Ben Wolfgang reports that reality has fueled questions about whether the Pentagon has become too reliant on private industry for critical missions, potentially opening holes in national security. Of the $14 trillion in total Defense Department spending since the U.S. invasion of Afghanistan in 2001, at least a third has gone to contractors. That's according to a recent study published by the Watson Institute for International and Public Affairs at Brown University and the Center for International Policy. At least $4.4 trillion was spent on weapons purchases and research and development, the vast majority of which flowing to well-known defense firms such as Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. And finally, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that President Biden isn't choosing to pressure or find diplomacy on North Korea. National Security Team Leader Guy Taylor reports Pompeo made the comments at Think Tank 2022, a digital conference that was sponsored by the ownership of this newspaper. Pompeo referred to years of waffling by the Bush and Obama administrations before an escalation of sanctions and other pressure on North Korea by former President Trump. President Biden has maintained sanctions against North Korea, and the administration has also gone forward with U.S.-South Korean joint military exercises, which have triggered threats of escalation from Kim Jong-un's regime. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and follow us for free on all of your favorite podcast platforms. Just search Washington Times. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WashTimes for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.